Hey there, thank you for tuning in to The Paradox, a podcast where I connect with people around the world to talk about global paradoxes and their possible solutions. The Paradox has a new episode every Friday, so if you want to stay up to date, I would kindly ask you to subscribe to the channel. And for now, enjoy this episode. This week's guest is Dina. Dina has played one of the main characters of my first feature movie, Cyanide, which is now streaming on Amazon Prime. And yeah, Dina, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name is Dina. I'm 22 years old and I live in Rotterdam in the Netherlands. I'm an actress and I'm happy to be here.
My first question already will be why acting? What made you choose acting over any other profession?
Well, I can go back kind of like when I was, I think, a child and I saw TVs and everything. My dad used to love TVs. So I kind of really loved it. And I kind of wanted to be also in it, but I was too afraid. And then we started doing our first musical production, like in the last class of primary school. And I noticed that I was really good at it. And then my parents shut me down, and I was too afraid to do it until I turned 18. And I did it, and I was so proud of myself, and I love it. Like, I know this is like what I'm supposed to do in life. So, yeah, I mean, it's amazing. So that's why how I started to be an actor. I think it was inside of my heart.
Nice. So to give people some insights, you're of Moroccan descent. You're also a
Yes.
girl, which is not a problem at all, but in our cultures, it's kind of is like a stigma, like there's a stigma around females in the artistic forms or artistic fields. Um,
Yes.
Basically, so in South Asian cultures, for example, it is because it is seen as sort of like trashy or a bit like, do you know what I mean? Like it's not seen as like a prestigious profession. It's not like a doctor or a dentist or whatever.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
Maybe you can start by telling what the stigma was in your culture about what you're doing and how you sort of broke that stigma and how you manifested what you wanted to do into reality.
Well, if I can say bluntly, I mean, if you're an actress as a girl, you're practically seen as a whore because you probably slept your way through, or you are naked on screen, or you are like whatever. All the bad stuff that's considered bad in our cultures, that's what you are or kind of want to be. And I
Why do
think
you think
it's
that is?
sad.
But like, why do you think people think that?
Because it's a beautiful woman most of the times on screen, and she's pretty, and she's surrounded probably by all these men, and everything has to be sexual. And it doesn't have to be this way. I kind of like really broke the barrier of like telling to my mom, hey, I have guy friends. And she's like, oh, only guys? I'm like, yes. Okay, like, okay, I don't know. And awkward. And I was like, yeah. She's like, are you in love with one? Is someone in love with you? I was like, no, it doesn't always have to be. I can like talk to a man or talk to a guy, and it doesn't have to be sexual. And I feel like everybody has these wild fantasies because maybe they're sexually frustrated or something, and they think everything has to be sexual, or you're using your body, using your face. And I don't know. It's just, I think everybody's just frustrated.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
So, yeah.
Um, so,
Yeah.
so I was also wondering because we work together on Cyanide. What is your general opinion on, let's say, social media? Because Cyanide was also promoted on social media. It was on like a streaming platform on the internet. What is like your general opinion on the internet, the social media in general?
Social media is like a dark place, but also a good place. It's for example, to promote your stuff, it's very good to like promote your movie, promote what you're doing, but it can also be like toxic for the mind. For me, I do a lot of photo shoots. I work with photographers and they make photos of me, nothing sexual, so don't worry, even though I would want to do something sexy in the future. But so, like zoom, zoom, zoom. But it's all, it's all very, very clean, very, very professional. But I keep seeing my face on, my pictures. And the first thing you look at is what's not good enough, or what's not good about you, like my nose, my chin, my I don't know, my jiggly things. So I keep on looking at that, and that makes me kind of toxic and kind of even more insecure. Or I feel like, oh my god, this is a beautiful picture, and then people see me in real life, and they're like, that doesn't add up.
I think also
I
it's
feel
like
like,
the industry we're in, obviously, like because in the industry we're in, everything is basically about beauty and like the standard and romanticizing. And if you add like social media on top of that, it's like an extra layer. So in our industry, for those who don't know, um, there's this thing called casting coach. I don't know if you know what that is, like casting coach. And it's
yeah.
basically this idea that these well-established directors or producers or whatever sleep with the actresses because they give them these roles or they promise them these roles. And that's also where this Me Too movement happened quite a lot in the media industry, because in our industry, it isn't like strange, to be honest, that our industry is so focused on beauty and on the superficial side of it. But I also think it's very
Yeah.
dangerous, because I saw this TED talk recently about models. She's like a very well established model, like a Victoria's Secret model, and she was talking about, if you want to have like the a group of the most insecure women on the world in the same room, put a group of models in the same room, because it's they are the
Yeah.
most insecure about their nose, their face, the shape of this and the shape of that. And that's like the thing with film as well, and as actress as well, that you might have encountered. Like there's so much focus on, oh, if you improve this, then this could be, or you can get this role, or if you act like this, or if you lose weight, or this or that. You know what I mean? Like it's always like, if you're just a little bit more perfect, then this can happen for you. So have you experienced that yourself?
I have I experience it in my daily life, most of all. So, for example, I love my mother, but my mother keeps telling me I'm fat. Every time I come there, she keeps telling me, like, you're an actress. I mean, I am proud of you, but I think you should lose weight. I'm like, I know I gained a lot of weight in these corona times, and in, like, weight comes and weight goes. I think, and that makes me very insecure. And she keeps adding on that part, like, you are beautiful in these pictures, but I think you're fat, like those type of stuff. And then it really goes inside of you, it makes you insecure. And I feel like that has, and then it adds up. But it also takes away of the art, because I love the art form of acting. I love taking pictures. And when I post my stuff, even though I'm insecure and I don't like them, I just post them anyway and don't look. I don't try to care about likes. And then when something goes really high, for me, I only have 400 followers. So for me, having 100 likes is like, damn, it's a good picture, So, but you don't try to focus too much on it. But social media, it also kind of can inspire me in these days. I mean, if you feel good about yourself, for example, I had periods of my life that I was confident, that I was happy with where I was, because I look back at smaller Dina, and smaller Dina was depressed, so much heartache, so much heart pain I have suffered, and I never thought that I could be here when I was there. And that makes me kind of proud of myself, like and even I am not like fully there or something, but it makes me feel like I've grown. So, but yeah, so it makes me feel that I've grown and all. And then you see all these actors and all these artists, you see people like doing all this stuff, and then I try to keep track of them, because they motivate me. Just when I'm laying in my bed scrolling like this, I'm like, wait, she's been in this movie? Okay, let me step up. Let me also step up.
Yeah.
But it can also make you overwork or something else. But
I guess it's like a
if
it's
you,
a it's
yeah.
a very like thing, you know what I mean? Because on the one hand, it can actually like motivate you to see what other people are doing, to actually be like, oh shit, like I want to do better. But then
Yeah.
again, it can also make you like really insecure, because you feel like, oh, I didn't get that role. Like, why didn't I get that role? So in that sense, I think like social media and acting, it's a very like dangerous combination, because I think it's also like the more famous you get with acting or directing or whatever, the more pressure you experience, because if you get like one break, you get all of this media attention and then it sort of slows down again. But
Yeah,
it's like a high,
yeah.
you know, like you keep on craving this high of doing this role and doing that role. So what do you think, like in general, what is your opinion on the way you get opportunities because of social media these days? Like, do you feel like acting has become more easy because of social media, because you can connect easier, or do you think it actually has become harder because so many people have access to the resources, which are like production houses, directors, producers, like everyone can approach them basically?
It's like it has a bad side and it has a good side. For example, I follow people that I've worked with, and sometimes they post on social media like castings or whatever. So I apply for those castings because I'm like, yes, like another job, like another opportunity. Because the more opportunities you see, you need to get them all, because competition is fixed. Like, it is very hard. So I have all these places I can see, but it also means that if I can see it, thousands of girls that look just like me can see it too. And then what's gonna like set you apart? And that's a hard thing, because in the end of the day, we're all girls, we're all like women. And for me, it's just like I only have my motivation and my spirit. And then it's like, okay, well, if you don't see potential in me, I cannot do more than I'm doing right now. So that makes it like a little like difficult. So it's like, okay, it means just I can see it, but it also means thousands of other people can see it. And if everybody sees on social media the easy part, they see that I am having these pictures done. They only see the pictures. They don't see that I've been in makeup an hour, or they don't see
Someone
that
else
I've
said
been
like in
way.
another podcast that basically you see the highlights of someone's lives, and it's very true, because we were having this discussion before about how if you're in the industry, you basically work like all of these years, like hard work, dedication, whatever you're doing, like rehearsing, editing, acting, I don't know, whatever you're doing so many hours of the work, but no one sees those hours. But once you get a role, once you get this or that, everyone wants what you have without working for it. Like, so what's your opinion on that? Like, people not wanting to work, but just wanting to, oh, I want to be an actor, I want to be a director, you know? Like, what's your opinion on that?
I really get frustrated because I started in community theater. I started in student theater. I pushed. I wasn't in university. I didn't finish any schools because of my personal traumas and my personal issues. And I had to persuade this director that is working with these people that are like higher educated to let me get in there with no experience and just coming there every week and getting scrutinized, because that director was tough. Like, he was very tough on me. So every week he criticized me and he put me down. And then I took everything he was saying about me. I internalized it and tried again and tried again and tried again. And that's how I became better and better. And people don't see that I've worked at the Amsterdam dungeon. It was a very fun experience. I learned a lot, but I also worked my ass off. Like, I was in Amsterdam, 8 o'clock. I slept in Haarlem because I couldn't catch the trains. The trains would be too early. So I slept in Haarlem at this guy's place that was disgusting, and my mother thought it was a girl. So I lied. I said, oh, actually, she thought I was sleeping at my friend, a girl. And I was actually sleeping at a guy's place because, like I needed, and it was gross. Like, it was really gross. So they don't see like the hard parts and the unglamorous parts. And then I get a little angry when people say, I want to be an actor. And then I'm like,
Do
now
you
it's
know what it
glamorized.
takes
Sounds
to
like
be
the
an
best.
actor, you know?
Exactly. Do you know how many letters, how many emails I've written to everybody? And some people don't even
Rejection is
respond.
like the big,
Rejection.
like that's literally
I
like
only,
our second language, like rejection. It's so what what would you like actually advise people who actually want to act but are very serious about like acting?
I would say one thing that's most importantly I think is most important thing about acting is you have to be good. And you cannot just act. You have to have training. Even it doesn't have to be school, but it has to be practice. It's a sport. It's an art form. So it looks easy because ballet looks easy. I think I can do ballet right now, and then you see me doing ballet, and I suck. You know. So do take the practice and really see what you like, and really, really, really look inside of yourself that you really like it, because there are thousands of people that love it, and then you are half, you just thought it looked good. So put your hours in, really look if you really, really enjoy it, like really enjoy it, because personally I love it. Every time I'm acting, so much energy comes inside of my body. I can't sleep. And it's not a bad, cannot say, it's not insomnia. I want to sleep. I'm like, I am so happy. I have so much energy. I want to give more and more and more. But you have to really see that you really like it. And do the theater, do the work, go learn, be a good actor. Become a good actor. If you are a good actor and you are great, you know how to do character building, you know how to learn from a script, you know how to love it and everything, then I have no problem with you acting. But if you're just doing it because it looks good on social media, I mean, you can like it, because I also looked at TV and I also thought, oh, I want to do this too, but it's scary. It was scary at the time. Now social media is glamorized, so everything is fun and everything, we can all do it. And I'm not saying that nobody can do it, because I worked really hard. Like, I couldn't act. I couldn't act in the beginning, but you need to want to do the work. You need to want to become better. And I still think I have a lot to learn, and I want to learn, and I love to learn. So
Right. Social media is definitely glamorized. Like I will agree on that. And I also think that you have to put in the work, but you also have to understand that you have to put in the work. You know what I mean? Like you cannot do it half half. Like if you want it, like the grind don't stop. Like you're constantly busy with it. So my final question to you would actually be about we both live in the Netherlands and we both are in an industry that represents everyone. Like it represents the whole world and our country. What do you hope is going to change in terms of the content that is being made in the Netherlands in the long term?
what I hope is going to be changed is when we are going to portray, because the Netherlands loves to portray uh, our sad side of our being non-white, being the Moroccan girl that is oppressed and that her parents need her to wear the hijab and whatever. Like, the Dutch people really have this certain fascination, and Dutch people love to like put in books our struggles,
Traumatize
so
like
they
our
feel
character.
better. Our struggles, our why. Actually, it's a subconsciously we're showing them why they are better.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
they're like, I hope that
It kind of
if
is
we're
like
gonna
a
make,
it's like a weird flex or something, like to sort of victimize our characters and our ethnicities in their. I find it strange as well. Like I really don't get why there's it's so like stereotypical. Like it's so like a caricature of different ethnic groups, which I find very fascinating. But I also think it obviously has to do with underrepresentation of our like communities in the film industry or like in the creative
yes.
industry in general.
Yes, and if people want to represent us, they represent us half-assed. It's I know it's harder for us to be even go into the industry, into the acting industry, into the writing industry. Like it's frowned upon in I think our cultures. Our cultures want all of us to become doctors, lawyers, I don't know, businesswomen. But when you say, "Hey, I'm doing art," that's of course it's frowned upon, so there are not that many people. But if you want to do something like you want to represent, for example, for me, the Moroccan culture, the Arab culture, be sure that you represent it well and not just one dimensional, because we're all so animated and so dynamic, and so everybody's different. We're in the end of the day, it doesn't matter what your skin tone is, where you come from, we're all human. Like we all have human traits, we all have human personality. So I hope that changes, and I also hope casting specific ethnicities, that that in the script is already written that this person is white. I mean, you can say she looks lighter. I don't think it's that necessary. It depends, of course, on certain circumstances. Life is never black and white. It's probably, life is gray. But it's annoying that you see written, I saw this white girl in a skirt, I said with long hair with blue eyes in a skirt, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's nice, of course, she's beautiful, but what about the rest? Why does she need to be white? No, she doesn't, you know. You just need a girl or you need a woman. You need a woman from this age to that age that is able to portray the character, or is able to give you the feeling when you see that you see a real person, and is able to give you as an audience, as a viewer, the feeling. And also you need a woman that's good at what she does, that's easy to work with, you know, like I don't think race really matters that much.
I think that's a good prospect. Thank you so much for your time, Dina. It's really nice
Thank
talking to
you.
you. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you more of you in the future.
Yes, I hope so too. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for having me, and bye.
Okay, see you.
Bye. Thank you for watching The Paradox. If you want to see more episodes, please subscribe to the channel down below.